Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Small Business Money and Tax News. On this video we run you through all the information you need to know as a small business owner. So welcome back to another small business tax news. On this particular one we're going to be talking about an update on what support is out there to help you through this COVID climate, and also some big information that was announced this week in terms of bounce back loans. Cool name, right? Hopefully it is going to mean some businesses do bounce back. So what's happened is there is a loan system out at the moment called the Business Interruptions Loan, more affectionately known as a CBIL loan. Now these particular loans have been very difficult to get. They're a commercial lend. I've spoke about them previously, and as a result you need to provide quite a lot of information. First they came out and there was hoops that basically businesses couldn't get to because they had to have been declined other lending first, really. They took that stage away, and then the banks have tried to give as much money as they can. I think NatWest actually have been pretty, from our own experience, have been one of the more successful banks at doing this, but everybody's trying their best to do it. I mean, if you approach Barclays or any of these other main banks at the moment, everybody's trying to get on board and help people with this. But ultimately, sometimes if the business isn't stable, they're not going to be able to lend to them because it's not responsible. So, and all the other things that go alongside this. So what's been announced by the Chancellor just recently, so at this point in time there aren't many details out there, is this new bounce back loan. Now they're there to fill the gap. So at the moment a business interruption loan, you have to borrow over 25 grand. These loans are designed for the smaller amounts, so they're going to be up to 50 grand, so 50 grand and below, and they're capped at 25% of your turnover. So obviously if you've got and that's your sales, the money that's coming in each year on your accounts, so you have to bear that in mind. But they're capped at either 50 grand or your 25% of your turnover, so it's going to help you access that money. My understanding is, talking to some of the people, we're still light on the practicalities at the moment. They should be easy to apply for. So at the moment I'm hearing things like you'll be able to do it through your online banking for a simple form, which is a million miles away from where we are with the interruption loans at the moment. So that'd be really, really great, and that the money should be available quite quickly. Now the government have 100% backed these loans, so hopefully the banks can then feel much better about letting them go out. They're giving you 12 months interest free where they're paying it. You can have a long period of good and relatively, we're hoping, cheap cash to see you through this particular period in time. So that's all really great stuff at the moment, and I think that is very much needed for a lot of the clients in that smaller micro business, that particularly the limited company directors that aren't getting any help, that need to get through that. What is more appealing to me is the possibility that this money could be in very, very quickly, which is something certainly not the case with the current loan system. So that is where we are with loans. So let's talk about the furlough scheme. This is for employers, really. So this is for the people that have teams, or sometimes they don't have teams, but as a director they've decided to sort of mothball the business for a period of time and put themselves on furlough. So as a quick recap, furlough is when you've stood down a worker, you were going to lay them off, you've set them aside and said, look, there's no work for you, but we're going to do this alternate thing and furlough you, which means we can pay you and claim up to 80% of your salary back from the government. So we can either pay you 80% of your wages, or we might even carry on with your 100% and we'll bear the cost of the extra 20%, which a lot of employers are doing at the moment. If you're a single director of a limited company, there was a long discussion over whether this could be done. It can currently be done under the HMRC guidance, and what they're saying is that you can't physically go out and provide services to or on behalf of the company, but you could do things like file your VAT returns or sign accounts off, stuff like that, really admin-y type tasks. Now the portal went live on Monday the 20th, and it has been a real success so far. We've got to admit the portal has had a few issues, but generally the stability of it's been great. People are getting their money. The money's actually coming through quicker. They're saying 6 working days. We've seen them in around 4, so that's really good news. The money is coming, and the actual claim process itself is not that difficult. The difficulty is in the calculation. If you've got any sort of size team, the calculations themselves take some considerable time, and we've had, we're a team of 17 here, and we've had all hands on deck trying to make sure we process these for clients, because they do take a considerable amount of time to calculate. If you've got people with variable pay, when did they start, what's their salary, is their commission contractual, there's all these things, so make sure you check out the guidance. And the best place to look for all the guidance in one place is healandassociates.co.uk/COVID-19. So the biggest couple of problems we're having with this is there's one where the HMRC have got data that says supposedly how many employees are on the scheme, and sometimes what we're seeing is when we go to claim, they're actually saying no, we don't think you've got that many employees, even though you've had that many employees for years and things. So there's the odd one that's out of sync, and that's proven difficult to get sorted, because trying to get through to HMRC at the moment is, as you can imagine, really, really painful. Web chat's your best idea if you've got a problem, but as we found with a few of these, they've been escalated, and you still need somebody who's on the end of a phone, and unfortunately that is more difficult, and we're still trying to solve these issues now. The other thing that's been really affected is it's quite normal for accountants generally, we don't do this because for lots of different tax reasons I won't get into now, I don't think it's the best thing to do, but for a lot of accountancies, they do annual payrolls. So they won't put anything through your payroll, and then once a year, as a director only payroll, they will put through your annual salary in one go in March. And for a lot of people, that's been the done thing for years. It's an accepted norm from HMRC. There's a scheme for it. It's all above board and fine. But what HMRC did at the last moment was change the guidance to say that you had to have been on the payroll at the 19th of March, tick, you would have been, but you had to have submitted an RTI submission. Now that's the actual data that tells HMRC who's on the payroll and how much they've been paid. Now for a lot of annual payrolls, they wouldn't have been done until nearly the end of the month when you'd normally prepare a payroll. So we're seeing internally, we've had the same problem with some payrolls where they've come on very late in the day because they've just started a new company or something like that and haven't had that first month's data there. So even though they're on the payroll and everything else, they might not have been submitted yet. So in these annual payrolls and these ones where they've just started in March, they're currently outside the scheme, and we're just sitting waiting to see if HMRC adjusts it. I'm not 100% sure whether they will, but at the minute that is a very known issue. I've seen it all over Facebook and the medias, and the answer is at the minute, unfortunately, there isn't an answer. You're outside the scheme until HMRC decide to look at the issue and deal with it. And then normally at this stage, I tell you some cool things about some of the tax news that's happening in the tax tribunals. At the moment, they're all on pause. And we saw an article in the Financial Times this week talking about the difficulties that some businesses are having trying to get through these tribunals because they need an answer. So at the minute, I've got no cool, fun stories to tell you about on that front. And then finally, a quick one just on fraud. Fraudsters everywhere. I mean, it is fraud heaven at the moment, I'm sure, for people that are into that. You've got potentially able to make furlough claims. You've got these loans. There's all sorts of things going on at the moment. And of course, the good old phishing scam where they're going to ask you, HMRC refund, click here, stick your bank details in, we'll help you out. It's all a scam. They won't do that. It's very, very, if ever will HMRC ever say to you, yeah, we need to pay you some money, and they certainly won't send you a bad wordly email with a link to click. So just bear that in mind. If you want to make sure whether HMRC owe you any money, normally I would say phone them up, but you can also check your business tax account. It's all a secure portal and everything else. Do not click links, texts, and all the other things that come through. You can check out HMRC's Twitter and other things to keep sort of up to date with those frauds. But yeah, just make sure you're really looking at what you're clicking on before you do it. I mean, quite often if you're on a PC, you can hover over the link and see where it sends you, and it clearly won't send you to HMRC's site, so just bear that in mind. That's it for now. So it's quite good news. It does seem that the money's starting to flow in. We've obviously got VAT deferrals, so you don't have to pay your VAT bill. We've got personal tax deferrals from July, so you don't have to pay that immediately. And then we've got loans, furloughs, the self-employed income support scheme, which is the one for self-employed people, not limited companies. We're still waiting on more details from that, but a lot of the measures are now hitting. And we've also seen business rate grants. They have definitely hit the bank all over the place. So we're really, really pleasing to see. And I've got loads and loads of business clients that are really, really happy with this. So I think we've got to say well done to HMRC and the local authorities for acting really, really quick on that. And I don't say well done to HMRC too often. So thanks very much, guys. You've done a great job. And that's it. We'll see you on the next one.